Let's get to work. My fellow graduates, teachers, administrators, family, good evening, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Nicholas Crookston, and it has been my great honor to have called myself a Burris Owl for the past 8 years, and to have served the class of 2019 as its president for the past 2. I look out and I see more than just peers and teachers. I see my family, and I see my home away from home. And the love, support, and fond memories of that family from my 8 years here at Burris will forever hold a special place in my heart. And for you all, I'm eternally grateful. This evening, I would like to share a piece of our history with you. In 1960, in the city of Greensboro, North Carolina, 4 young men, Ezell Blair Jr., age 18, Franklin McCain, age 19, Joseph McNeil, age 17, and David Richmond, age 19, stepped into F.W. Woolworth's chain store, sat down at the lunch counter, and politely ordered a cup of coffee. And they were immediately denied service. Not because the lunch counter had run out of coffee, and not because they didn't have enough money to pay for it, but it was because of the color of their skin that these young men were told that they would not be receiving service at Woolworth's that day, and they were asked to leave immediately. But they stayed right where they were. Time magazine reported that the white patrons around them eyed them wearily, and that the white waitresses ignored their studiously polite requests for service. Yet even in the face of such great opposition, they didn't move once from their seats until that lunch counter closed. And then 3 days later, they returned with more than 300 others. That 300 then grew into several thousand, who, as part of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, held their ground and continued to fight until 4 years later in 1964, when the Civil Rights Act was passed, and it became federal law that any person, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, or origin, could sit at the Woolworth's lunch counter or any public institution and receive service. Young people, such as the 4 brave young men in Greensboro, have been at the forefront of some of our world's greatest revolutions. From the young men who laid down their lives fighting for independence in the American Revolution and freedom in the American Civil War, to the students in 1970s South Africa who faced guns and tear gas for resisting apartheid. Young people over time have fought to desegregate schools, end wars, ensure equality for women, stop gun violence in their neighborhoods and communities, and defend human rights worldwide. And we consider all of the great fights of our youth over time and the unprecedented change that they have brought about, there can be no question that our history has been shaped by our youngest global citizens. I tell you this today because when I look out upon all of your faces and anticipate the amazing futures that we are getting ready to embark on as young adults entering the world, I see history in the making, and I have hope. I have hope for a tomorrow in which every man and woman can sit down at the table and take part in a common discourse. I have hope for a day in which we can see past our ideological differences and seek to move forward together through compromise, open-mindedness, and respect. And I have hope for a tomorrow in which the ideals of individual liberty, humanity, and dignity spearhead the very morals that define us as members of a national and global community. That future is attainable, and that hope is not far-fetched. I know this because in our time as members of this Burris community, we have been blessed with an education that has fully prepared us to face many of today and tomorrow's challenges. Thanks to our amazing science teachers, I understand the beauty and the complexity of life itself, and I appreciate the great duty that we all have as global citizens to preserve and conserve God's beautiful creation for generations to come. From the excellent instruction of our math teachers, I have learned how to solve complex problems using the mental tools and resources that we have been afforded over the years. And with that mindset, I believe that we are all fully equipped to tackle the compounded issues of contemporary society and find solutions that are equally efficient and effective. And it is through the countless thought-provoking discussions and lessons that took part in my humanities and language classes here at Burris that I can stand before you today boldly and say that somos una nación de la gente, por la gente y para la gente, fundados según los derechos básicos de la vida, la libertad y la búsqueda de la felicidad. Y es nuestra responsabilidad como ciudadanos de esta nación de defender estos derechos por toda la gente, a pesar de raza, género, etnia, origen, religión y orientación. We are a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people, founded on the basic rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it is our responsibility as citizens of that nation to defend those rights for all people, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, origin, religion, and orientation. So interpret my message this evening as you will. Maybe as a call to action, to pick yourselves up, put yourselves out there, dare to challenge and question loudly, and become an actively engaged global and American citizen. Or think of it as a message of gratitude to our forefathers, including those parents and grandparents who have joined us here today, who paved the way for us to stand up and to boldly carry on their own hopes and dreams for the future. Or perhaps, consider this a declaration of my own intentions, to rise up in the next 2 decades and to seek to effect change from the highest office in the land, the presidency of the United States of America. However you respond to my message, my advice to you today in summary is to get up. Stay in the fight that our predecessors, including those at Greensboro, began. Dare to challenge and persist as they did. Lift yourselves up to the occasion of today. Hone the skills acquired by your time here at Burris. Keep the faith, and let's get to work. May God bless you all wherever we may go. May God bless our families, both here at Burris and at home. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.